Friday was another huge day in the college basketball world, and I'm going to give you guys my three biggest winners, as well as a few of the notable teams that made big moves on Friday. I want to start off with Florida. They were one of the biggest winners of the entire offseason so far. They added in Todd Golden, who, as it appears as of this point in time, has the tools to recruit with the biggest schools in the SEC and the country in general. And he added on to that group by adding in Kyle Lofton, who will be one of the top point guards in the entire country next season. So, what does Florida's projected starting lineup look like as of today? I have Kyle Lofton at the one, Kawasi Reed at the two, Will Richard, Alex Fudge, and Colin Castleton. They also have a very solid bench. And in my opinion, this is a team that is one move away from becoming a legitimate contender. My second biggest winner is Arkansas. Arkansas has continued to be one of the biggest winners in every aspect when it comes to recruiting since Eric Musselman has taken over. He once again proved that again yesterday by adding on the American Conference Sixth Man of the Year from last season, Ricky Council. There's still a lot of time to happen there, but I do have Arkansas as the number one team as of right now. I think Devo is going to be a starter for them. Nick Smith, number one recruit in the country right now, according to 24/7. Anthony Black, as well as Jordan Walsh, another freshman. In that center spot, if Jalen Williams decides to come back, he's the obvious clear-cut starting center for them. Off that bench, though, you do have a lot of pieces that will be able to be considered into that starting lineup. My third biggest winner of the day is Tennessee. It was a tough one for this third spot because what Iowa State was able to pull off in Schumaker is a huge piece. He might even be the best player added onto a team on Friday. The reason I gave Tennessee the slight edge is because for Tennessee, it pretty much locks in who the starters are going to be now. They add in Julian Phillips, the fourth highest ranked commit in program history now. I think that he's going to slide in perfectly there. So the projected starting lineup I have for Tennessee at this point in time is Kai Ziegler at the one, Santiago Vescovi. I think he'll be starting off at the two guard. He's still in the draft process right now, Josiah Jordan James, but I do believe he'll be coming back. He'll slide into that 3-4 role right there with Julian Phillips. And at starting center, I have Olivier Kumwa. So those are my three biggest winners, Florida, Arkansas, and Tennessee. Now, there were a few other teams I want to bring up. The first one I do want to mention is Iowa State. Schumaker will be one of the top centers in the country next year. Auburn, another SEC school. They got Jonai Broome. He's officially through from the NBA draft process. You now get to replace Jabari Smith and Walker Kessler, which obviously that's pretty much impossible to replace. But if you say you could replace them with Johan Traore and Jonai Broome, I think you'd be pretty happy with that. UAB, a team that could potentially start off in the top 25 this year. As crazy as it is saying that, you get back Jordan Walker, who was player of the year in the conference last year. He is an incredible player, a top 50, top 30 type caliber player in the country this upcoming season. West Virginia adds in another underrated move, Trey Mitchell, someone I am extremely high on. I think he's an NBA draft prospect 2023. San Diego, Steve Lavin's come in, added in two rotational pieces to Pac-12 teams last year in Jaden Delaire, and also now you add in Eric Williams from Oregon. Both those additions are huge for them. They're going to be competitive in the West Coast Conference this year. Maryland, Donald Carey should slide in right there, the starting point guard. Texas A&M, they bring in Dexter Dennis, a player from Wichita State, which should slide in right into the rotation, if not borderline starter for them. And finally, Wake Forest. They add in a very underrated prospect in 2022. I'm not sure if Bobby will be a player that starter next season, but is someone that you really need to watch for going forward in the ACC. He's going to be a very solid player for them in the future. Now, that wraps up my top three teams that made the biggest jump yesterday, as well as other teams that made a bigger step in their program yesterday on Friday the 13th.